There are things man was not meant to know. But that doesn't mean that they don't know us. When you stare off into space and it blinks back at you. When the creature under your bed calls some friends over for dinner. When your very sanity is hanging by a thread. There is one place you can turn to.
Lovecraft Detective Agency. If you're sane enough to call, you probably don't need our help. Oh dear. I'm so sorry. And you're sure it's blood dripping down the walls? Well, you're the one looking at it, so if you say it's blood, I'll take your word for it. I was just wondering if it might be ichor instead. Ichor. The difference? Oh, sir, you did know we specialize in unknowable and unspeakable horrors, didn't you? Well, I only asked because describing the difference between blood and ichor is definitely unspeakable. Did you taste it by any chance? You did? Why would you taste it? No, I didn't tell you to taste it. I asked if you had tasted it. Because if you had tasted it, you are obviously insane, and there's not much we can do for you, I'm afraid. Well, I'm sure I don't know. Sure, a hospital might possibly be helpful. You might also want to look in your yellow pages under witch doctors. Just try to avoid the weirdos. Good luck. Call back if you survive.
Good afternoon, Gladys. Any business while I was out?
It depends on if that last one calls back.
And how likely is that?
Not even a little.
Oh, Gladys, thank you for the coffee cup you sent.
You're welcome, Agent Worthington. Did you try it yet?
Oh, I have so many coffee cups. I turned it into a planter.
Really?
Funny thing, the plant died and burst into flames. Then it turned into a snake and tried to bite me.
Oh, dear. You might want to be careful where you buy your flowers.
Yes, dear. Will I see you tonight?
Predicting the future is always challenging, my dear, but I will endeavor to do so.
Come early. Hang on. Agent Worthington? Uh-huh. Yes? No, I have come to accept that I'm the one who will get these calls. Give me a few hours to get there. Well, that shoots tonight's plans straight to a malevolent dimension.
I take it a development has come up which requires your attention.
Our attention. This strikes me as something which could use your expertise.
Which you say because?
Because the agent who just called me to take the case was calling from the mental ward of a local hospital. He was just about to check in.
Sounds like we're on deck.
I quite agree. Will we need airplane tickets?
To Chattanooga, yes. Sadly, we're going to have to make some cutbacks on the travel expenses. My supervisor is riding me pretty hard about this.
I don't mind flying coach.
Oh, no, not us. Just Gladys. Let's go.
So, how did all of this start?
It was her fault.
That was less helpful than you might imagine it was.
She was the one who wanted to work on the project with Michael.
And she was the one who started dating him halfway through the semester, which wouldn't have been so bad if she hadn't dumped him before the final project was done.
He started getting way too intense.
I'm sorry, Michael is?
Was.
Oh, he was the one with...
The tentacle marks and the missing head.
Oh.
Sorry, young lady. Your former beau was found in an unpleasant set of circumstances.
Most of them, anyway.
What exactly was the nature of your project?
We were doing a report on lost cultures. There's this little island in the Pacific. Apparently they found these buildings carved into the obsidians that the locals shouldn't have been able to build. We watched some film where these explorers met up with them.
Our professor was on the expedition, and she gave us all kinds of photographs from inside the caves. We were working together to try and decipher something.
Seems fairly advanced for an undergraduate course.
Yeah, we both needed to pull our grades up this semester, which is why I wanted to work with Michael. I figured he could be brilliant, and we could do whatever legwork he needed, and we'd be good to go.
And we didn't need to learn the whole language. Any piece of something would be enough for an A.
How did it go?
Terrible. I looked at those pictures until my eyes were crossed. It meant nothing.
The same with you?
Yeah, Dana's right. It was just random lines.
Did Michael seem to understand them?
Not at first.
What changed?
He said he had a eureka moment.
I was there. It really was just like that. One moment, we were cuddled together. It was our first time, together. Anyway, he rolled over, caught a look at one of the photos, and he said it all made sense suddenly. Every picture he looked at, he was able to read it.
But the next day, he was having all kinds of trouble explaining how to translate it. He could remember what it said because he wrote it down, but he couldn't remember how he'd figured it out.
How long after that did you break up with him?
It wasn't that long. He got, clingy.
He took the breakup badly?
Actually, no. He was upset at first, but the next time we all got together, he seemed fine.
Yeah, no. You were seeing what you wanted to see. He was not okay with it.
And how long ago was the breakup?
Almost a month ago, and he was fine.
Uh-huh.
You cheek ready to go? Yeah, we want to hit Capital Heta, Upsilon Lambda, and Heta Upsilon tonight.
Guys, chill, will you? These are detectives. They wanted to talk to us about Michael.
Whoa, 5-0, man.
I promise you, underage drinking is well out of my jurisdiction.
I think it depends on the liquid. There's this stuff called ichor.
I had that once.
That is evident, yes.
Oh. You okay, babe? What happened to Mike was... Man.
Thank you, Damien.
Damien? Then the tattoo is not ironic?
666? Nah, bro. When your parents name you Damien, you go all in, Hail Satan all the way.
Met him once. It was underwhelming. You knew the victim?
Nah, bro. I only met him the day the freaky stuff happened. But he and Anita were tight, and I gotta stand by my girl,
I'm sure I do. Anita, Dana, I believe I have all the information I need just now. May I call you to arrange another meeting if there are other questions?
Of course.
Can we, bounce then?
Have fun, kid.
So we can assume Damien is a red herring?
Sorry?
The young man named Damien, with the 666 tattooed on his neck? I'm hoping we can reliably assume that he's not involved in this in any way. It's just so corny.
I see what you mean, but no, Agent Worthington. We can't assume that Damien is uninvolved in this matter. He may, in fact, be the key to the whole situation.
The demonic surfer dude from Chattanooga.
Well, I suspect he's less demonic than he might believe.
You base this on what?
A theory.
Ooh, I like theories.
I'm less of a fan. I prefer something actionable to something we're unsure of.
It's building to that point. I need only one thing to confirm my theory.
Which is?
Probably that. Come on.
What is it with this thing and heads?
It does seem a bit fixated on them, yes.
And it ruined that lovely tattoo. Ripped it right in half.
You suspected Damien would be the next victim.
I did, yes.
We need to perhaps talk about sharing information? What's going on?
A review may be called for. The photographs the young man came across, they were unintelligible to all of us, even Gladys.
They did seem familiar, though. Like if you speak Spanish, but you're looking at Portuguese.
Do you speak either of those languages?
No.
Lovecraft. Sense. Make some.
He was unable to read the work until he found himself in the arms of the young brunette.
Anita.
Whatever, I'm terrible at names, you know that. He finds that a night with his dream girl allows him to translate the runes.
So you're saying they're only legible after a romp in the hay?
They should make a Valentine's Day card out of those.
A clever marketing strategy, Gladys, but no. You will note the girl.
Anita?
You keep harping on that. The point is, she was unable to read the symbols. My suspicion is that the extracurricular activity was not the cause of the epiphany, but rather the intense emotions he experienced. By all accounts, she was not nearly as infatuated as he was.
And how does that lead to the missing head? Or the other missing head?
My suspicion is that our young Lothario...
Morty, you can remember Lothario, but not Michael?
Yes, That does appear to be the fact on the ground, which we must all accept. The young man most likely was able to keep his emotions in check during the breakup, but when he saw the girl with Damien for the first time, he was overwhelmed with anger or despair, which allowed him to read the symbols once again. This time, he managed to summon our decapitation-prone otherworldly being,
which promptly killed him.
Likely in exchange for a promise to destroy Damien for stealing his main squeeze.
How can you remember his name?
My father's name was Damien.
So you let Damien die to confirm your theory? Did it occur to you we could follow him and maybe prevent that death?
Was that one of our goals? I generally just try to stop the otherworldly beings. If you want me to keep people alive at the same time, you should mention that sooner.
In that case, we should probably stop that thing.
It's not done?
For now, I suspect it is. If he was as infatuated with the young lady as he seemed to be, I don't imagine he would have sent it after her. The problem is, I believe this entire situation might not have been completely unintentional.
That's kind of a problem.
Then we should go and solve it. Redirection?
Quite right, old girl. Let's go and bring the photographs.
Professor Blakely.
Yes?
Agent Worthington, FBI. And this is?
My colleague, Dr. Wynne. I'm sorry, I just didn't expect a visit from the FBI.
We're investigating the murders of 2 students here on campus.
Surely that isn't a federal crime.
No, we started out assisting as a courtesy to local enforcement. Then I did some digging into your recent expedition, which seems at least tangentially connected to these events. I was surprised to see the lack of paperwork involved. And the trade in improperly obtained artifacts is, I assure you, a federal issue.
Have you shown them the photographs yet?
Mordecai Lovecraft, a private consultant, and his assistant, Gladys.
Charmed, I'm sure.
What is all this?
We want to show you these photographs.
We've seen them.
How do you know if we don't show them to you?
We're assuming
Yes, you are. You don't want to look at these, do you?
You weren't sure they were readable when you're emotional, at least not at first. But now that you've gave them to a student to test, you're quite certain.
The emotion makes a difference, doesn't it? Affection grants understanding. Anger or hurt gives you power over the being associated with these runes. My question becomes, what about fear?
Shut up! Not one word, not one sound. You can't possibly bring this up in front of a court, Agent Worthington.
No, I don't suppose I can.
Susan, what if...
I said shut up!
Oh, that's exactly what you're not going to do. You're going to confess to something. I frankly don't care what it is. Make something up that will give you an equivalent punishment to 2 counts of manslaughter. You will do this because if you don't, I will make you look at these photographs. Prison is a terrible place, but you'll have a head, so there's that.
And if we're right about some of the initial translations from Michael's works, your head might actually survive separated from your body, wherever it's being taken.
Hello, Gladys.
Hi, Morty's not in.
I know. I'm the one that called him away. I wanted to talk to you.
About what?
Imagine the following scenario for just a moment, if you will. I draw my sidearm, fire 2 shots, 1 into your neck and 1 into your heart. Then I casually walk up to you while you're bleeding out and put, well, just about anything in your hand. That letter opener, that paperweight, any one of those large stone objects I can't identify. I then call the police and say you suddenly came at me with a weapon and I was forced to defend myself. I'm a decorated law enforcement agent, and you are a certified lunatic. No one will question this. No one. I'm not doing this as we speak because I know Morty is fond of you, but make no mistakes, Gladys. I know you've been trying to remove me from the picture. I suspect I know why, though I don't care about that so much. I just need you to understand 2 things. First, the situation I just described is merely the simplest of 5 ideas I came up with to get you out of the picture. And second, if I ever feel threatened by you again, I will simply end you. Understood? Good. I'm glad we had this chat.
He's fond of me.
You have been listening to the Lovecraft's Detective Agency, produced by Seat of Our Pants players, written and directed by Dan Wenzel. Mordecai was Andrew Dell. Gladys was Liz Music. Janet was Brianna Kuby. Jill Wenzel was Dana and Professor Blakely. Rebecca Scheimer was Anita. Adam Gastonguay was Bill. And Rick Tennant was Damien and Dr. Wynne. Music and sound effects by www.freesfx.co.uk. Tune in next time for something even creepier.